Do you feel sad often? Welcome to the capitalist world. But all jokes aside, what are some of the little practical things you can do to not feel very sad? As a person who experiences sadness pretty often, I have a huge bank of ideas, and most of these ideas are pretty commonly known. But in case you guys don't know what to do, or you feel totally lost, or you have no ideas whatsoever at the moment, here are some of the things I do when I'm sad. Number one thing I do is I film videos. That is a really strange thing I have gotten used to in the past few months, but it really helps take my mind off of things, and it really helps to kind of get out of my head, because I am a person who lives in her head. I always think about something. I always ponder upon the meaning of things, and it's exhausting, And I've been trying to stop for years, and now I'm just kind of embracing it and trying to share my incessant thoughts with you. So, this is the obvious thing to do if you're sad. Find something that occupies your mind, and if it's not necessarily beneficial to you in a material way, think of how it benefits you in all the other ways. Does it help your mental health? Does it help your focus? Does it help in any way or form? And usually, if it's a hobby, it will bring some kind of a sense of joy back to you. But obviously, if you're chronically sad, number two, try and see a specialist. If you have access to the services of mental health providers, seek out help. Now, and this is a slippery slope to an extent, it's hard to find a professional who you vibe with and who doesn't cost you a fortune, and many of us are strapped for resources, so therapy is not the answer to everyone, and your sadness may worsen if you have to depend on this one particular person. So seeking out help definitely is one of the first things you should consider, but we're limited, right? So if you have a friend, if you have a trusted comrade, talk to them if possible, if they're not busy, if they're not occupied, if they're available. So, and I talk all the time. I get on people's nerves because I talk too much. So, number three, the thing that I do is I get immersed into another world. The classic escapism route. So, reading a book, watching a movie, this can really help take your mind off of your sadness, off of yourself. And again, it's limited. It's not like you are going to immediately feel joyful and happy if you start watching a happy movie or reading a happy book. I actually used to read something tragic in the past, and I kind of felt very intense emotions. I really felt for the characters, and it kind of helped me stop thinking of my own worries, of my own sadness. So that can be another thing you can try if you are out of ideas. Now, outside of the banal drink water, exercise, do yoga, meditate, and the aforementioned simplistic truths, don't blame yourself. The modern world, the world is complicated. It has always been complicated, and we have always been kind of poorly equipped, so to speak, to deal with it. And our development has really been stunted, has really been curbed. Our development has really been limited by the economic circumstances, by the fact that there are people always who want to usurp power, who want to manipulate others into serving them, and somehow it just so happened that our circumstances are far from ideal, so we have to make do, and feeling sad is absolutely normal. Nothing is wrong with you if you feel sad, and as I mentioned before, if you feel sad all the time, you should probably seek out help, but feeling sad from time to time is completely normal, and Schopenhauer, the founder, I believe, of pessimism, gave us this little axiom, which I find pretty helpful. He said, you can only know the joy of lacking pain if you experience pain. So it's like you can only learn about a state of being if you have learned about the opposite. So this is a pretty dialectical truth, in my opinion. I think that um, you do understand states of being better when you experience the extremes. So sadness may sometimes be helpful. It may lead to greater empathy. It may lead to more insight. But if you have perpetual sadness, you are absolutely allowed to seek out help, and you should value yourself as a human being, no matter how little you're able to do or produce at the moment, no matter how useless you may feel. Know that you're not useless, and if you feel sad all the time, it's a problem that you need help with and not reproach, okay? Because oftentimes we grow up in reproach, we grow up in people telling us that us feeling sad is our fault, and us feeling sad is something that must be remedied by willpower. No, you should not try to power through your sadness. If you can, and if it doesn't bother you, if it doesn't affect you negatively, yeah, sure, go for it. Try to power through your sadness, but it's okay to accept that this is the state of being now. You're sad, okay, and let it pass, because it's going to pass, even though sometimes it feels like it's here forever. Most likely it will pass. And as you're waiting for the sadness to pass, you can read some Lenin.